What's up, everybody? It's Artavion again, but you can call me Eon. Welcome back to another day of soft launching a jewelry brand. I'm gonna be honest, I already went through the most of my day without doing the intro, so I'm just doing it right now. Today I went straight to the studio and got to wax carving. Now, that's only a problem because I'm supposed to be keeping up with my agenda every day to make sure that I'm on task. So right now we're gonna update my agenda and make sure I'm going through everything so we can stay up to date. And then after that, I'm going to work on some 3D models and edit the video from yesterday so I can get that out and post it. I noticed that a lot of people that start businesses and promote themselves online often fail to show the most important part, them getting eyes on their product, which is exactly what I'm doing here. So today I'm also going to be showing you guys my process editing the video from yesterday as well. So I can show you guys my process of me getting my name and my business out there into the world. So without further ado, in the order that you guys are going to be seeing it, I'll be updating my agenda and I'll be working on the wax ring that I started yesterday. Enough yak, let's get to it. The good thing about starting your agenda early into the week is that all you have left to do throughout the week is check it and update anything that may be incorrect or cross off anything you've done. Since that's all I have to do here, we're going to get straight into the wax carving right after this. So we're going to get right into continuing the ring that I started from the last part. So if you missed that, go back to the part to see how we got here. As I said before, this ring represents the start of my journey creating a business, and also serves as a reminder of my siblings, so I always remember why I'm doing this and where I come from. But there is also another really big reason I'm taking on such a big task of starting a business. And to tell you the truth, I've been struggling to say what I'm about to say for so long. And I think for a long time, I wanted to have the ability to not say it at all. For my own privacy and honestly my own pride. Probably the biggest reason I've decided to throw myself headfirst into the very stressful task of starting a business is because I was fired. And because I'm still trying to pursue legal action, I'm going to try to say as little as possible about where and what exactly happened to protect my right to do so. Hey, fuck it, I'ma just say it. I got fired because of a glitch that had nothing to do with me. To make a really long story as short as possible, I worked for a very large corporation that you and everybody else probably use every day. Now, I worked for this corporation for 3 years. While going to school Monday through Thursday full time, this job allowed me to work Friday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. This, alongside my hourly wage, for a short time allowed me to feel stable enough to get a one-bedroom apartment and move away from my family, giving me a much-needed change of perspective on life, and specifically where mine was going. But before I could get too comfortable, a little over a month ago, I used a feature in the Worksite app to accept VTL, voluntary time off. Immediately after accepting, I encountered a glitch. And now I knew it was a glitch right away because instead of my schedule reflecting that I just had taken an opportunity for VTO, and instead showed that instead of my regular schedule from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., I was meant to be working from 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. the next day, and then do it again from 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. the next day. So literally, the app said that I was supposed to clock in and be at work for 48 hours straight, which is just impossible. After seeing this, I wasted literally no time and contacted HR support as soon as I possibly could. And for a little more background on this corporation, it's so huge that the HR I speak to is disconnected from my actual work site. It's more like a customer support in another state type shit. After speaking to HR, they confirmed that it was a glitch almost immediately and claimed to fix my problem. And I honestly knew nothing good was going to come of this, even though they said that it was fixed. So I screenshotted a lot of important parts from this conversation. And again, just so I don't lose my right to sue, I'm not going to be sharing these screenshots. But if I find out that I can't sue anyways, you guys know I'm going to be dropping them all over the internet because it makes no sense to me. And sure enough, after going back and forth with HR over the glitch never being resolved, I was fired for an unexcused absence. And again, wasted no time in getting on the phone with HR. But right after receiving my termination email, HR support began telling me that they could no longer help me with the case and that I would have to reach out to the appeals team of the corporation. After submitting an appeal, I was limited to only 500 words to explain my situation in one screenshot. Despite this limitation, I explained the glitch and multiple interactions with HR claiming to resolve it as best as I could. And 3 days later, I received a message that I would stay terminated. Again, this was about a month ago, and after it happened, I immediately tried to get another job. But let me put you in my shoes for a second. I'm a full-time student in a small college town surrounded by nothing but farms. My current class schedule has me in class at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Monday through Thursday. Apart from the job market already being cooked for everybody else, no regular 9 to 5 is or has considered me. Even the third shift positions I've applied to haven't given me any responses back. And like unemployment said, you may be asking yourself, why not just drop out? And then maybe I will have the availability to support a regular job, right? And honestly, I don't even think I should have to explain that. But hell, we this far, so I might as well, right? Staying in school has already proved to be such a challenge in and of itself for me. Every year brought its own set of unique challenges and hurdles that in the moment I felt like I would never be able to overcome. But I stuck with it for over 4 years now, as a first-gen student, all while feeling so alone and unguided while doing so. And while I would love to say that I stuck through all of this with my best interests in mind, the truth is that I stayed in school so that my younger siblings and others under me don't have to go into their life as confused as I had to start mine. And so now that I only have 1 semester left after this current one, finishing in this way is all the more important to me. So instead of depending on this same system that continuously fails me, I'm going to put that same energy into myself to create a future for myself and those I care about that isn't consumed by our current struggle. And so that's it. That's where I am right now. So to prevent having to drop out and become a cog to a system that put me in this very situation, I'm using the skills I came to school for in the first place to create a better situation. If you've made it this far into the video and decided to listen to everything I had to say, I truly want to thank you for your time. So now with that out of the way, we can talk more about this ring. After a bunch more filing and sanding you saw throughout the video, I've gotten it to a nice and smooth finish that I like. Right now I'm currently setting the spinel using heat to melt them into the wax. I hope to be able to cast the spinel in place, which is just the process of leaving a heat-resistant stone within the wax, allowing the molten metal to form around the stone, holding it in place. Typically, stones are usually only set into the jewelry piece after the wax has already been cast into metal, because not every stone is heat resistant. But even if your stone is resistant like this spinel you see here, or even diamond, casting in place can still fail in many different ways. Despite knowing these potential cons, I decided to cast my stones in place anyways, because I feel that it's more of a symbolic representation if the metal is hugging the stones for me. So with that being said, I'm going to try this technique even though I know the risk of a failed piece or losing the stones is much higher. And I mean, just look at it. I think it will look beautiful with the 3 spinel having a flush finish right on top. So now that it's done, I give it a few touch-ups and sprue it to the bottom of a flask to start the investment process. I personally like to think of investment like concrete. It starts as a powder that you mix with water and then pour over your wax. And after leaving it for a day to dry, it takes the form of the wax. After a day, it's placed into a kiln where it gets hot enough to completely melt the wax and harden the investment, which leaves a hollow cavity for the molten metal to fill and take the shape of the wax. But before you even get to that step, the investment has to be placed under vacuum pressure to help release any large bubbles. Because if you don't, when the investment hardens, it could leave gaps of air around your wax, which could potentially ruin the design, or worse, cause trapped gas bubbles to expand and explode under the high heat process that is casting. So that's exactly what you see me doing here. After placing a flask around the wax ring and filling it with investment, I'm using a vacuum table to remove any large bubbles. I first vacuumed the investment in a rubber bowl by itself and then again around my ring to make sure that all the bubbles were gone. After that, as promised, I decided to record my process of editing videos. Funnily enough though, the camera decided to autofocus to the back of my head without me realizing. So I'm just going to save that process for the next video. But after editing for way too long, I decided to make a pizza at 1:30 in the morning. Delicious, by the way, and call it a night. So that's going to be all for this episode. If you made it this far and want to see what happens to this ring next, as well as the next ring I create, the one I'm showing you right now, then please make sure you like and subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, click the link in the description for a sneak peek of what's to come for this business. Thanks for watching and have a great night.